It's December, it's day 19, and it's about to go down here at the Single Malt Reviews Adventure Through the Secret Spirits Whiskey Advent Calendar. Dave has already got the hat on in a show of supreme confidence. So, without further ado, I'm going to wrestle with the box one more time and gather our malt of the day. Or will it be in malt?
Day 19. Home stretch, final week before Christmas.
Yes, we're getting close,
Yeah. And while Tim wrangles the box, and to say thank you for your comments and your support of the reviews so far. Sorry we haven't been able to respond individually to date because we are at risk of breaking the illusion. Filming these in batches. We aren't in fact getting together every day to film another dram.
God, what a show that would be. What a nightmare.
Yes, especially wearing the same shirt several days in a row. That would just be right out.
Oh golly! Alright, here we are.
Yes, we do appreciate all the comments. They have very nice insights, the corrections, the help, and the advice we get.
Looking into the future this year, but
yeah.
I'm going to show great confidence in the community and say tremendous response this year.
Yeah.
Lots of people getting involved. Alrighty then. I'm going to one up Dave's well on the last one and give this one 3 wells. Well. 3 holes in the ground. This one is not something you see every day. So that's all the hints he's getting. There's a wee bit for you.
Thank you.
And just stand by. Smidgen for myself. And into the tan card it goes. Your time begins.
Okay.
Now.
Clock is going, mic is going, the camera is all set.
Another cool nose.
Yes.
That really is quite... That cools you down, I think. There's a bit of a minty menthol thing going on. And what else have we got? There's
quite an alcohol prickle. There is a rich, rummy, sherry-esque quality to it.
Yes, it is quite... it's certainly deep and dark. Does that give you any thoughts on the wood, maybe?
Being possibly old and sherried.
I think so too.
I've got to try though. That will be a good stepping stone. Oh, that's luscious, rich. I'm thinking quite dark.
Those are very dark flavours. Dark and spicy again.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of cinnamon spice in here and a bit of nutmeg as well.
This is quite strong, I believe, but also quite old. It's this is probably a. Oh right, but that's the specifics. I should go for the generalities first. I feel confident in saying we're in the Highlands here. There is a rich
and so that's
sweetness.
one implies we're also dealing with malt whiskey in that case.
Absolutely, I believe.
All right, so
I don't believe we're on any islands. I'm not getting any maritime hints here. So yeah,
no, I think that's a pretty sound pick. It's not every day. I can think of maybe one distillery where you might get whiskey like this off an island, and it's would be extremely unlikely.
Yeah.
So I'm with you there. What else are you getting in that full strength dram there? And also,
there is a curious hint of licorice, of Irish moss on the finish.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's the second really spicy, dark flavoured one we've got practically in a row. That McDuff was delightfully spicy. So I've just given you some water there.
Thank you. No, I felt that going. The nose has softened a bit. That's gone a little bit space hardy, actually.
It has gone a wee bit space hardy.
This one, I'd like to revise, I think.
This one is a bit tricky. This one, if I had the hat on, this one would be fooling me because I would have a distinct thought here, and I think it would be running wild in my imagination. Yeah. And I'd be very, very wrong. But we'll see how it treats you. Oh, I should say your last 30 seconds as well.
Okay. Well. Oh, damn. I'm getting space-side impressions now after adding water, but based on what I was tasting beforehand, I still want to go with Highlands. So, Highland or space-side, or possibly both.
Last few seconds.
Okay, I'm going to guess Ben Riach. I'm not confident in it, but knowing the propensity for curveballs in this calendar so far, I'm thinking it doesn't taste like a typical Benriach, so it could well be that.
So that's a guess for Malt's Benriach Speyside.
Yes.
And yes, well,
But veering toward the Highlands.
let's have a look. Let's have a look. I think veering towards the Highlands should have veered a little bit further
Oh dear.
because it's Dalmore.
Darn. So my first impressions, being Highlands, were
indeed.
in fact somewhat correct.
Dalmore. You almost never see. Oh no, I should say it's a first fill Oloroso.
Yes.
And it doesn't specify whether that's a hoggy or a butt, so that's anybody's guess.
Either way, first fill Oloroso is
Yeah.
going to give you some intense
And-
flavours, which is exactly what we got here.
It's 12 years old. This is the only time I've seen Dalmore in an independent bottle for years. I mean, granted,
Right.
we don't see a tremendous amount of whiskey going past down here in New Zealand, but we do see quite a lot, and Dalmore does not show up very often at all. It's quite a... If anyone who's ever shopped from the sort of the Dalmore's standard range, they have a very high opinion of their whiskey if their prices are anything to go by. They are one of the really, really expensive for Highland as well. It's sort of a Highland that really, or at least their marketing department thinks, demands Isla prices.
I've never had a disappointing Dalmore, certainly.
No, it's quite a reliable whiskey. It's a bit, as far as the standard range goes, and I'm being a bit critical of them here because they are a bit stuck in the mud, I think, in terms of their presentation. It's one of the ones that are really holding on to their guns regarding 40% and chill filtered. They're a bit like Glenfiddich.
Oh, this
in that
is
respect.
a ripping 57.2%. It did not come across
Oh
that strong. That
no
was,
funny business going on here. Yeah,
So
and
it is both younger and stronger than I expected based on my initial tasting. So, yeah, once again, I have been completely thwarted by another excellent...
not completely. You at least got the malt on that one. So
Yeah.
you got the truly
the
important
approximate
one.
region and also approximately what kind of wood, but that's still a... Yeah.
Yeah,
long way off.
next year we might put the wood type in. I think because we're guessing it anyway. We
Yeah.
might as well be getting a score sort of.
There's often
for
it can be a big influential factor in what distillery it might be, but
No, we'll have a veritable whiskey Olympics set up for next year if we increase
Oh,
the
yeah.
complexity any further. But I don't mind a bit of complexity here.
yeah, so guess what day of the week it was distilled on and
That might be a bit tricky. But
exact capacity of the still it went through.
yeah, but as far as this goes, this is as rare as it is to see independent Dalmore. This
Yeah.
is very classical Dalmore. That's always been a very sherry, not sherry. 100% sherry, not like a Glendronach or a Glenfarclas kind of a situation. They use plenty of bourbon, but their style is a lot more sherried than most, which is, I suppose, one of the reasons they can charge the astonishing prices that they do for their typical releases. And it is a perfectly good whiskey. It's a very given how uncommon sherry forward blends are these days. Blend as in house blend. They're not blended whiskey at all. It certainly has a place there as one of the far less common Highlands. And yeah, there's absolutely nothing to complain about here. This is a really typical, really classic. I think this is. You could probably go and find yourself a bottle of Dalmore 12-year-old. Try this alongside and find, not in every respect, but in a great many, that this is a sort of a cask strength version of it. It's really very indicative in a way that a lot of the single cask bottlings from this calendar from well-known or more well-known distilleries have not been. Going right back to the first one when you got that absolute spinball of a Auchentoshan from a sherry cask, that's like no other Auchentoshan under the sun. Similarly, that Dufton which we just had, that was pretty weird as well, as far as a fairly common Speyside dram. This, I think, is closest to home in terms of distillery's natural style, which is good for us because therein is the guessability. Because
And a good punishment for me for not having tried more.
well, I don't think I would have got a
Dalmore.
Dalmore as well because it's so it's not a well-trod path for most people. I can't be bothered with the standard range of Dalmore unless I'm maybe ordering off a list of drinks at a bar or someone's giving to me or something. And as I say, yeah, it so rarely turns up in independent bottles. This one, yeah, I think pretty generous to squeeze this one in here. This would have not come cheap to Secret Spirits. I can guarantee that one. Dalmore will make you pay if you want some of their whiskey. So I suppose all the more power to them.
It would be worth it though. I mean, this has got me beguiled, got me intrigued.
Good old whiskey. Anyway, we will wrap up and come back around and see you all in about 24 hours' time for day. What's going to be 20, I suppose. Oh, we're getting in there. I can almost. What could be? What could be in the last one?
Again.
So, all right, I will rally the senses and come back. And the streak may be dead, but I can always start a new one. There's still time left. All right, Slanger, we will be right back. Catch you then.